Hey, welcome to the Geeks table, it's Alex here. Using an iPad with a keyboard and trackpad has never been a case for me. I mean, why would you buy one when all the apps are meant to be touched, scrolled and zoomed? But Apple is pushing the post-PC era to take place sooner with introducing iPads with huge screens, adding a pointer support and selling the keyboard cases. So I've spent a month by using my iPad Pro with all possible Apple keyboards and trackpads, and now I'm ready to share my thoughts on which one is the best to go with. And let's start with the tough guy, the Magic Keyboard Case. The most expensive keyboard that Apple has ever made, it's a solid solution for those who want a bit more of their iPad. It has the keyboard that is almost identical to the ones that are installed in the latest MacBooks, meaning that you won't have to adjust your typing habits at all. For those of you who hate the butterfly keyboard, this one has a scissors mechanism in it, so it should be more reliable. Also, good news for the fast typers, the arrow keys are now T-shaped, so it's easier to distinguish them from the command and option keys. Obviously, this keyboard has no functional buttons, so one cannot control the brightness and volume from the keyboard directly. And the escape key is also missing, but you can remap the globe key to substitute it. Bad for typing habits, but this is the only option available. Compared to other Apple keyboard cases, this is the most silent keyboard. When typing, the noise level is about 37 decibels compared to the 48 decibels from the original Magic Keyboard. If you want a backlit keyboard for your iPad, this is the only option to go with that Apple provides. The brightness is automatic by default, but you can change it manually in the settings. The light is solid, but I found it a bit distracting to have the light beaming through the edges of the buttons. So underneath the keyboard there is a trackpad, and this is nothing in common with a good old Force Touch trackpad on the Macs. It's smaller and it has an annoying loud physical click. On the good side though, it can be clicked in any part of the trackpad and it supports the gestures. And the annoying click can be removed by turning the tap to click setting to on. Some say that this is a protective case, but I don't think so. The edges of the iPad are open for meeting any surface you hit them with. And bad news for coffee lovers, this case has zero protection against liquid, so be careful when eating or drinking near your iPad. Also, the exterior is made of the same material as the previous covers, so it collects dirt and fingerprints like crazy. So I wasn't surprised at all to see that you can buy a protective case for this case, but don't buy one, it will cover the Apple logo on the outside. The stand is almost as heavy as the iPad, moving the whole setup to 1.5 kilograms, compared with my MacBook 12, which is 1.1 kilogram, including the plastic case. Because of the weight and the mechanism, you won't be able to open it with one hand. So you need to drop everything that you hold to be able to open it. Not that practical. Also, you cannot detach the tablet with one hand either. Well, you can, but it won't be that fancy as in Apple's commercial. The weight of the case is its bright side at the same time. You can rest your wrists on the left and the right sides of the trackpad as you do on a laptop. This makes it easy to type, whether you're in bed or on a sofa or at the table. The angles that you can set and that are actually usable are between 16 and 36 degrees based on the Apple's Measure app. Here's a tip for you. If you have an iPad, just tilt it with your iPhone attached. This can help you to understand what angle you'd get when you're buying this or that keyboard case. Another thing that outstands this case is that it makes the iPad hover over the surface for 1 or 2 centimeters, which makes the actual angle more usable, because you don't have to tilt your neck that much. Also, some people have concerns about hitting the bottom edge of the tablet when typing, but even me having long fingers never had such an issue. The case also features a USB-C port, and it actually made me think that Apple was testing a keyboard with a battery built-in. This would have made it heavy, stable, and also charge the iPad. Another proof for this theory is that the port can only get the power in, but not out. So it can only be used to charge the iPad itself. But if you need to charge anything else, go with the main port. The charging through the keyboard works great and is just a little bit slower, but not dramatically slower. For 20 minutes of actively using the tablet, I got 4% through the keyboard port, and with the same scenario, I got 6% through the main one. In the sleep mode, for the same 20 minutes, I got 14% via the keyboard versus 17% via the main port. So as you can see, this is a nice all-in-one solution if you need to transform your iPad into a laptop. But what if you want a keyboard experience but a bit cheaper? Let's look at the Apple's Folio Keyboard Case. When it originally had been released, the Folio keyboard was blamed for being expensive, and now we can say that it's a nice budget solution. The keyboard shares only the layout with the Magic Keyboard, but the shape of the buttons is completely different. The buttons are located on a bigger distance between each other, so that when you're typing, it feels uncertain whether the button has been pressed or not. However, the build quality is perfect and the button will press, even if you press just the edge of it. Maybe it's just me, but the buttons feel less noisy than the ones in the MacBook. However, both produce the same level of noise, somewhat 44 decibels. Probably it's because the noise itself here is more clunky. Anyways, the keyboard may affect your productivity for some time in the beginning, because the fingers have to get used to it. The Folio case provides two possible angles, 21 and 35 degrees. The second one is very close to what the Magic Keyboard Case provides. But with the Folio, the iPad doesn't float above the table as it does with the Magic Keyboard Case. There is also a hack to make a third angle for the Folio to be better for example, drawing. All you need is attaching the felt stickers that you can buy in IKEA or any furniture store. And then the iPad can be easily placed on the table in a comfortable angle for sketching or making notes in it. Speaking of notes, the Folio is the best case to have a keyboard, but at the same time to be able to flip it away and write something down quickly. The exterior is the same as the one in the Magic Keyboard Case, so it will attract all possible dirt from your fingers and table and your backpack. But on the other side, this case is liquid proof, so you can split a cup of coffee in it and it will still be usable. But please don't do that. The keyboard doesn't have a space for your wrists, so unless you are at the desk, the typing experience may not be the best one. You'll have to place your wrists somewhere, either on your lap or on your bed if you're lying on your tummy, so your wrists can get tired. Also, there is one important thing that is missing from this keyboard, and it's an Apple logo. I mean, the trackpad, obviously. I feel it's a bit weird typing and reaching the screen every time you need to press a button or change the size of the text or whatever. Because if we're talking about productivity, we need to keep our hands in the same dimension to achieve the best speed of typing and interacting with the interface. If we go with adding the Magic Trackpad to this configuration, we'll end up having 1.3 kilograms of weight in total, and it will also be more expensive. And again, if you're not sitting at your desk, there will be a challenge to find a place for the trackpad when you're on a couch or on a train, for example. But if you like this idea of adding accessories in an ad hoc way, then the next option might be for you: the original Magic Keyboard and the Magic Trackpad. So if you're on a low budget, then it can be the cheapest way to experience the glory of post-PC era. Also, if you have a Mac, then probably you already own these accessories, and all you need to do is to reconnect them to your iPad. So what you actually get is the smoothest transition possible, because the keyboard is exactly the same and the trackpad provides the best experience because it's big, it has the Force Touch, and it's quiet, and etc. etc. Speaking of the keyboard, it's the only keyboard from Apple that comes with the functional keys. And you can control the screen brightness, volume, and playback. And it also has an escape key in the exact place you'd expect it to be. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any backlight, and also the FN button cannot be remapped to anything else. But returning to the good part, you can work on any distance from your iPad as long as it's in the Bluetooth range. This configuration can be a good choice if you plan to work with your keyboard only at your desk. So whenever you have to go, you just fetch your iPad in your favorite case and you're ready to go. And you're free to get any case of your choice in this configuration. I have this one that protects the tablet from every edge, charges the Apple Pencil, and has a big range of possible angles. But it can also be a simple smart cover. So here they are, 3 options that you can get. Affordable, versatile, but not good for traveling, all-in-one, great, heavy and expensive, and something in the middle. Let me know what you would go with and why. And if this video was useful for you, hit the like button please, and if you would like to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. It's been Alex, and see you at the Geeks table.